I couldn't start my recording earlier because somebody's playing their music loud, and YouTube would not like that. So here I am on Prospect. I'm not going down to the cemetery today. I don't know how far I'll get. I'm already quite tired. Just coming up the hill. Oh, that's lovely. I mean, yes, you should mow your lawn, but sometimes high grass can be kind of nice, soft. So it's in the 50s. No rain today, but we've had a rainy week. So it's too wet to go up the hill as I had planned. So instead I'm going along it. Heading east in Binghamton, New York, on Prospect Street. Okay. Unzip my jacket, it's kind of warm. Dappled sunshine through the trees, but very few clouds in the sky. Oh, school speed limit, that's what that is. There's a school in the next block. Elementary. I'll be taking plenty of short little stops. Woods are lovely, dark, and deep. It's too damn wet right now. And when they dry out, it'll be too hot. So I'm uploading 5 videos, 5 15-minute videos to YouTube, all about my adventures today in the land of Second Life. Didn't get very far. Started at a stairway at one side of the sim, came up to a house at the other side of the sim. So I've walked like a quarter kilometer in Second Life, but spent most of that time cuddling with my virtual artificial sweetheart. It was fun. When I come back Friday, we're going to descend from that and continue along the other side of that sim. So I think we're going to be there for a couple weeks. They call their estate Sanvena, but the name of the sim is Rutger. I suspect that just like the names of the people, the names of the places are pure imagination. In Second Life, played some Minecraft yesterday. Continued building after the recording stopped, and I got the entire basement covered and the walls up for the first floor. But not entirely up. Part of the plan is to build up some rooms taller than others, so there would be once you get past the main stairs, there'll be smaller stairs, and I'll continue like that, building rooms of different heights, so that you'd be going up and down. Not so much along one corridor, but from room to room. I don't know yet how many stories I'm going to put on the thing. I think I'll go this way. The grass is wet. It would defeat the whole purpose of not going uphill if I were to walk in the wet grass. Work tomorrow, so I have to have dry shoes. And while I have other pairs of shoes, I'd rather just not get my feet wet. Rather cute, the steps down to the street. And this high wall right here. Seriously thinking about staying home 4th of July week, which is our company's annual vacation. But then going down to New York City, maybe in October, because by then I'll be retired. I expect to retire Labor Day. My birthday's the 8th. I live on my own savings for a while, about a year, before my Social Security kicks in. And then maybe in maybe Halloween 2022, I might go out to California. Just noticed that my camera wasn't on the level. I might get down all the way to Front Street. I might turn back earlier. Golf. I wonder what is meant by that. Eli Park, I think, is on the other end of town. I'm not sure that you get to a golf course by taking the next left up into the hill. I don't know what they intend by that. I guess you could. I mean, if the sign says so. The hill, as you see, goes straight up. But there is a turnoff later on. Meant to connect with the highway, it will also take you to a road up into the hills. I've walked that. The highway is up that hill, about 17, and then after that is more wilder reaches of Prospect Mountain. There's a road that follows along the highway and then makes a turn later on higher up into the mountain. It's one of those long, broad-shaped mountains that I know well from Pennsylvania. In fact, we have one back home that we actually call Broad Mountain, shaped very much like Prospect. We are on the narrow edge of Prospect, but it continues back for miles, and it's fairly flat on top. It goes up only a few hundred feet. Most of these hilltops, I think, are like 1,600 foot sea level. And I don't know what the height of downtown Binghamton is, but back home, there was an 800 foot difference between the mountaintops and the level of the creek in the valley below, the Little Schuylkill. It's called a river, but it's really no wider than a creek. Several smaller creeks feed into it. I miss home. Wish I could get back there just to take a tour of the town when I could visit my sister anytime, but she lives out of town. She doesn't like me going into town for reasons of her own. She's afraid I'll get into trouble. My sisters are like that. they take care of me like I was the younger brother. I'm older by the youngest by 9 years, and older than my oldest sister by 7 years. And yes, I'm the younger brother in their eyes. I think this behavior started when my marriage broke up. And they thought, well, the numbskull got himself in trouble with a woman. Mustn't be very bright. So that smokestack I happen to know is a mile from downtown. I checked. Because I used to work out in that neighborhood. And I wanted to know how far it was I had to walk. I lived downtown for quite a few years until I moved out to the west end of the city. It's more expensive, but there's more room, and I got to buy my own furniture. Which is funny now because it's been so long. I'd like to replace certainly the couch at least, because the couch tore. And I have it covered up now. I closed the tear with duct tape to prevent it from tearing any further. And I have to replace the duct tape frequently because it's duct tape. Press Sun Bulletin. I didn't know they still published. I'm glad to see that. We're almost at the cemetery. Now, this is the way up either to the highway or the mountain. Between here and Glenwood, it's really the only left-hand turn. Then we get down here to the other end of the cemetery, and you have a right-hand turn, and the block after that, more or less, is Front Street. So here we are at the cemetery. It's a beautiful cemetery. I love it, but I'm just not in the mood right now. I'm odd that way. I enjoy tombstones. I think it comes from back when I was a preacher, and I performed one wedding, one baptism. Our church really doesn't baptize, but it was by special request. And I am an Anabaptist at heart, though raised a Methodist. But I performed dozens of funerals, which was the problem with the church. Almost all the people attending there were old ladies. Impressive creatures. My organist had 12 children, but very much stuck in their ways. And this is back in the 80s. My marital problems pretty much put the kibosh on my professional career. A man couldn't help but hold that against his woman. It's just the way things fell out. And besides, she went on after that first episode. Two years later, she was involved with yet another man. I think she was involved with like half a dozen before she settled on one, married him, gave him 3 children after my 2, before they were even wedded. So, very disappointing. So I continued with ministry in an unpaid capacity. Hospital and prison visitations. Teaching Sunday school. Respected by my own pastor who knew me, but increasingly shunned by my colleagues. Who only had the bare fact of a divorce to go by. So this is the top of the hill. What you see before you, under those 2 trees, and the American flags in front of them, is the very, very top of the very, very hill. I expect there was some smoothing of the road involved. So here's the next turn. Don't think there's a left. I think it's just a right. Maybe wrong. It's been a long while since I've been down here. Like for a whole year or more. I hardly came out at all during 2020. Just work and groceries and such. And I've been keeping it. I do believe there is a bridge there, hidden by the trees. And even since then, since my vaccination, I'm keeping it on the down low. Keep in mind that there is still a 5% chance of getting it, though you've had